Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Remember to like and subscribe for better brothers next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtle, not the Renaissance painter. Strangely enough, if I were building the Renaissance painter, I'd probably want wall mobility for painting on ceilings, and he was Italian, so he'd probably like pizza.
Pizza power, oh, that's what makes us feel alright.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we're named after the guy who painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, so we need to get Catholic. And we're a cool teenager, so we need cool sneakers. Basically, I'm saying we need nuns and chucks. Congratulations, you've made the worst joke ever. Next, we need to have a sense of humor. Your family lives on the streets, your father regularly tells you you're not fit to be seen in society, and you've probably never been to a doctor. What's not to laugh about? Finally, we need turtle power, with the powers of a turtle, like having a shell and skateboarding. We'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, but there are some multi-classing minimums here. We'll kick things off with charisma. You're the Ringo of the group in that you're funny and you hit things with sticks. Dexterity next. Those sticks need to be flying around with finesse, or the definition of finesse, even though they still technically won't be finesse. Wisdom after that. Ninjas have sharp senses, even the goofy ones. Follow that up with constitution. If you don't want to turn into turtle soup, you need some HP. Strength is a bit low. You're pretty good at jumping, but this will get bumped up with racial bonuses, and we'll dump intelligence. We just don't really need it, and you were homeschooled by a rat who read a book about martial arts. That's not exactly the best educational system. It is seriously impressive that Donnie managed to be so brainy. Tortles are turtle people. I know that people say I use tortle too often, so you could make Michelangelo a variant human if you really wanted to. You get +2 strength and +1 wisdom. You can hold your breath for an hour, which should make it easier to stomach living in excrement. Your natural armor will make your AC 17 when you're not wearing armor, and you can retreat inside your shell with shell defense. This gives you advantage on strength and constitution saving throws, +4 to your AC, but you're going to have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, and you can't move until you pop back out. Your turtle claws let you deal 1d6 plus your strength modifier with your unarmed attacks, but don't worry about that. We'll get something better for you in a second. Turtles get survival skills for free in New York. I think that means being able to find the best pizza place. For your background, urchins get stealth and sleight of hand proficiency, but you also get city secrets, making you better at navigating the city and understanding secret passages like sewers. We'll kick things off as a monk, letting us grab 2 skills from the monk list, like athletics and acrobatics, to help you stay one step ahead of the Foot Clan, a footstep, if you will. You get unarmored defense, but it doesn't stack with natural armor. If 10 plus your dexterity and wisdom modifier ends up beating that eventually, you can use it. Honestly, turtle and monk overlap a little too much. It ends up being redundant and repetitive. Martial arts lets you reflavor regular weapons and take simple weapons that might normally use your strength modifier to use your dexterity modifier for some nunchucks. A light hammer might work best. They deal a d4 of bludgeoning damage, and you can throw them if you really want to chuck the nunchuck. Since they're monk weapons, you'll get to make an unarmed attack as a bonus action after you make an attack with the nunchucks as an action. It'll deal 1d4 bludgeoning damage as well, which means that there's no real reason to have the nunchucks other than looking cool. I guess throwing them. You can't throw your fist. Second level monks get key points, but you should probably call them turtle power. You can spend them on things like Step of the Wind, letting you dash or disengage as a bonus action, and double your jump distance to help you move about on the rooftops if you don't think people on the ground are ready to see a turtle man. It's New York. It's probably not even the weirdest thing they've seen today. Patient defense lets you dodge as a bonus action. Staying alive is fun. I highly recommend it. Finally, flurry of blows lets you make 2 attacks instead of 1 with your bonus action if you want to do your best impression of a can crusher. All monks get to go a little bit faster with unarmored movement as long as they're not wearing armor, of course, which doesn't fit you. It's not even an option. So that kind of works out nice. Third level monks can choose a monastic tradition. Drunken monks are the best at mobility and crowd control. I know that Mikey doesn't drink booze, but he does have a seemingly chemical dependence on pizza. You get the performance skill for free, letting you crack better jokes, or if we're counting the musical stage show as canon, which I do, sing power ballads. You get the drunken technique as well, letting you disengage with 10 feet of extra movement speed after you use a flurry of blows to hit and run like you're on some sort of skateboard. You can also deflect missiles, letting you reduce the damage of ranged attacks by 1d10 plus your monk level and dexterity modifier as a reaction, and even yeet it back with a key point if you really don't want to deal with getting shot. 4th level monks get slow fall, letting you reduce falling damage by 5 times your monk level as a reaction, letting you cowabunga off a roof without sweating. If turtles sweat, I'm not Googling it, I'm busy. You also get an ability score improvement, letting you get your dexterity up for better bashing, dashing, and sneaking. They didn't all have to rhyme. The first 2 were a coincidence. 5th level monks get an extra attack, letting you attack twice with your action instead of once, which makes sense. Nunchucks aren't the heaviest of things. Since your monk die bumps up to a d6, those will hit harder, as well as your punches. You get Stunning Strike, letting you force a Constitution saving throw on a creature of 8 plus your wisdom and proficiency bonus. Failing that, they'll be stunned until the end of your next turn. Nunchucks? More like stunchucks. If you want to cause physical pain to people with your jokes like I do, why not dip into Bard? Since we're dipping into Bard, you'll get an extra skill. Persuasion would be nice to get the last slice. Vicious Mockery is a cantrip that hurts people with puns, forcing a wisdom saving throw on them and dealing 2d4 psychic damage if they fail, and they have disadvantage on their next attack roll. Bebop and Rocksteady? More like P-Pop and Rock Stinky. I need to be clear, this only works on one creature at a time. Prestidigitation is close-up magic, the spell with little puffs of stink lighting candles, just a bunch of little flavor stuff that can't hurt anything. You'd use ninja abilities to play pranks. Don't lie. For your first level spells, Longstrider increases a creature's movement speed by 10 feet for an hour, no concentration required. There aren't skateboards in D&D, but there is Longstrider. Tasha's Hideous Laughter lets you tell a joke that's actually funny. It forces a wisdom saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they're knocked prone and incapacitated for up to a minute, depending on your concentration. Animal Friendship forces a wisdom saving throw on a beast. Failing that, they're friendly to you for 24 hours or until an ally attacks them. When you're traveling the universe, it can help if you're not being attacked by wildlife constantly. Heroism lets you inspire your brothers, making one of them immune to frightening and giving them temporary HP equal to your charisma modifier at the start of each of their turns for a minute, depending on your concentration. To literally inspire your brothers, why not use Bardic Inspiration, letting you give an ally a d6 to add to its ability check, saving throw, or attack roll sometime in the next minute. You have an amount of these per long rest equal to your charisma modifier, so we might need to get more of that later. Not to spoil things, but we're actually done with Bard levels for now. I've seen a lot of people pointing to Mikey and saying Bard, but honestly, he doesn't cast that many Bard spells, even with my liberal reflavoring. He's funny, but you can be a funny monk. It's called a funk, or a funky monkey, a brass monkey. Just kidding, you shouldn't wear brass as a monk, even if you want to make references to the Beastie Boys. But that doesn't mean we have to stop multi-classing just yet. We can go over to Fighter, letting you pick a fighting style. Interception comes from the class feature Variance Unearthed Arcana, letting you reduce damage heading for a creature within 5 feet of you by 1d10 plus your proficiency bonus as a reaction. You need to have a weapon or a shield, but this will keep you and your brothers safe. You also have Second Wind, letting you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per short rest. Your turtle physiology gives you regenerative abilities that might make people want to drain all of your blood, even if it kills you. Look, I decided to watch the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movies for this video. I don't know why, but gosh darn it, I'm gonna make some references to it. If I can't forget those movies, I can at least write them off on my taxes. Second level fighter is what we're really here for. It gives you action surge, letting you make 2 actions in the same turn, once per short rest, letting you really spin to really win. The real reason we're here is because I want to make your character worse, but not that much worse. Level 18 and 20 of Monk let you turn yourself invisible and run through the astral plane, which, unless I'm remembering the Ninja Turtles incorrectly, are not things that Mikey does. But can Mikey dodge hits and stand up fast? Heck yeah, he can, and so can the 6th level Drunkard Monks, thanks to Tipsy Sway, letting you stand up from prone with 5 feet of movement instead of half, and you can spend a key point to force one attack that misses you to hit another person within 5 feet of you. You've got a lot of reaction options because comedy is all about response. You also get key empowered strikes, making your unarmed attacks magical in terms of overcoming resistances, helping you deal with whatever Krang is in D&D. Good lord, I'm kind of glad I haven't finished the Turtles yet. It gives me a good excuse to not make Krang. 7th level monks get evasion, letting you take half damage on failed dexterity saves and no damage on successful ones. No reaction required, you're just evasive, like some sort of ninja turtle, a mutant turtle ninja teenager. You also get stillness of mind, letting you remove an effect of charming or frightening as an action. Some people use humor as a coping mechanism, not me though. I use humor to earn my father's love. It hasn't worked. Or should I say it hasn't twerked. 8th level monks get another ability score improvement. Keep getting that dexterity up. We need to be one of the top 4 fastest turtles. It's you, Leo, Raph, and Tip Top from Diddy Kong Racing. Donatello isn't that fast. 9th level monks get unarmored movement improvement, letting you move up walls and over water when you're unarmored as long as you don't end your turn there. Skyscrapers are pretty common in the Big Apple. I know your D&D game probably isn't set in New York, but Fantasy New York would also have buildings. 10th level monks get purity of body for immunity to poison and disease. Turtle physiology is pretty solid. Human physiology isn't. It's November. Please wash your hands. This started like 10 months ago. Just stay home and wash your hands. 11th level drunken monks get drunkard's luck, letting you spend 2 key points to get rid of disadvantage on an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. I'd love to give you the luck feat, but the ability score improvements are just too tight on this one. Your monk die also bumps up to a D8 to beat the feat of the Foot Clan. 12th level monks get another ability score improvement, cap off your dexterity. I really wish we could have done it earlier, but for some reason, Wizards of the Coast didn't give Tortles dexterity buffs. Cowards. 13th level monks get Tongue of the Sun and Moon for the ability to communicate with any creature as long as it speaks at least one language. Dimension X is really big, but people still understand you. Hey, why is Raphael the only turtle with a Brooklyn accent? None of the other turtles have accents, and they all grew up in the same place. Shouldn't they have a similar diction? 14th level monks get Diamond Soul, giving you proficiency with all saving throws. This is the Oreo cream of actually really useful stuff between the flavory abilities of monk level 13 and 15. What's the 15th level ability? Timeless Body. It means that you don't feel the effects of age, which I'm just going to chalk up to Wizards setting the turtle lifespan at 50 years when turtles live really long. Maybe it's different for mutant turtles? I hope not. I really don't want to watch a Ninja Turtle have a Benjamin Button scene. 16th level monks get our last ability score improvement, bump your charisma for harder to resist mockeries and extra inspiration die per long rest to help your brothers get their turtle power on. Our capstone is the 17th level of Drunken Monk for Intoxicated Frenzy, letting you make up to 3 attacks with your flurry of blows as long as each of them hits a different target. They're called the Foot Clan because there's a lot of them, and punching members of a clan is something I'll always encourage, especially when your monk die bumps up to a d10 for more consistent damage. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you can move with Long Strider, unarmored movement, and the ability to run up walls. You're also great at reducing damage for yourself and your friends with plenty of options for any situation. Finally, you've got consistent damage, especially in crowds, with unarmed attacks hitting like a warhammer that are also magical to deal with robot exteriors. For weaknesses, remember when I said we multiclassed intentionally to make you worse? Well, we multiclassed intentionally to make you worse. Empty Body is a really good ability, much better than anything from Bard or Fighter levels we took. You also didn't cap your charisma, making your Bard spells pretty bad, and your inspiration limited, and really mixing Bard with Monk is just rough. I don't recommend trying it. Finally, because of all the other stuff that doubles up from Tortle and Monk, I'm gonna recommend just not being a Tortle Monk. Be a Tortle Fighter, or a Cleric, or a Druid, or literally like anything else, since the main draws of the monk class are just part of being a turtle already. But putting extra cheese on a cheese pizza isn't a bad thing. Move around and be ready for any situation with either a joke or a nunchuck. Just watch out for someone with a little more focus. A sharp attention to detail could shred through you pretty quickly. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. If you join the Patreon, you'll get this character sheet and a whole bunch more. It's pretty great. And of course, sub to Tulak and Mango for more Tulak fun.